The ultimatum. Captain Nora Chen stood at the viewport of the United Earth ship Defiant, watching as the stars blurred past. At 42, she had risen through the ranks of the United Earth Defense Force, with a combination of tactical brilliance and unwavering determination. Her dark eyes, flecked with cybernetic enhancements that allowed her to process battlefield information at superhuman speeds, scanned the vast emptiness of space before her. "Captain, we're detecting an anomaly at the edge of the Kuiper Belt," announced Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It's massive. And it wasn't there 5 minutes ago." Nora's spine stiffened. Humanity had been venturing beyond their solar system for only 30 years, establishing small research outposts and mining operations on nearby star systems. They had yet to encounter another spacefaring civilization, though many scientists believed it was inevitable. "Full stop. Battle stations," she ordered, her voice calm despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. "Tactical analysis. Now." The Defiant, Earth's newest quantum drive warship, represented the pinnacle of human military technology. Its neural-linked weapon systems, experimental shield harmonics, and gravity manipulation engines were classified at the highest levels. To the rest of the galaxy, humanity appeared to be fumbling with basic interplanetary travel. In reality, a silent technological revolution had been underway for decades. "It's a ship, Captain," reported Science Officer Dr. Amina Zakaria, her eyes wide. "No, multiple ships. They're enormous." The main view screen shifted to show what at first appeared to be a small moon, but was actually a massive vessel of clearly artificial design. Its surface gleamed with an iridescent material unlike any metal known to Earth science. Surrounding it were dozens of smaller craft, each still dwarfing the Defiant. "They're hailing us," Communications Officer Lai stated, her voice barely a whisper. Nora straightened her uniform. On screen, the image that appeared shocked everyone on the bridge. The alien had a vaguely humanoid shape, but with translucent blue-green skin that seemed to pulse with internal light. Multiple eyes arranged in a circular pattern dominated what must have been its face, and tendril-like appendages moved with unsettling grace. "Greetings, representatives of Earth." The alien spoke in perfect English, its voice oddly melodic. "I am High Overseer Ktal Thuran of the Galactic Hegemony. Your species has been observed since your first electromagnetic emissions leaked into space. We have decided it is time to formally acknowledge your existence." Nora chose her words carefully. "On behalf of United Earth, we welcome you. We were unaware of a galactic governing body." What appeared to be laughter rippled through the alien's body, causing waves of bioluminescence to dance across its skin. "Of course you weren't. Primitive species rarely look beyond their own atmospheres before we find them. The hegemony encompasses 342 species across this spiral arm. We maintain order, stability, and progress." Something in the alien's tone, a hint of condescension, perhaps, raised the hairs on the back of Nora's neck. "We would be interested in learning more about the hegemony," she said diplomatically. "Indeed. We will escort your vessel to our command ship. Your planetary leaders will be contacted separately to arrange formal integration proceedings." Nora frowned. "Integration. Earth will be categorized as a Class 3 developing world. You will contribute resources and labor while receiving technological and cultural guidance. It is quite an honor. Most species remain in Class 4 status for centuries." The bridge crew exchanged glances. This wasn't a first contact. It was an annexation notice. "I'll need to consult with my superiors before agreeing to any escort," Nora replied carefully. Zeltharen's appendages writhed in what might have been irritation. "Consultation is unnecessary. You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation or an offer. The hegemony has existed for millennia by maintaining hierarchical order among the stars. Earth will take its place in that hierarchy." The transmission ended abruptly, and the massive alien vessels began moving toward the Defiant. "They're scanning us," reported Tactical Officer Commander Reyes. "Our countermeasures are active. They're only seeing what we want them to see." Nora's eyes narrowed. "Get me a direct line to Earth Command, maximum encryption, and prepare for emergency quantum jump if needed." Within hours, representatives from the galactic hegemony landed on Earth, appearing simultaneously in 12 major cities. The message delivered to world leaders was consistent. Earth would surrender 40% of its mineral resources, establish labor camps for off-world extraction operations, and submit to hegemony oversight of all technological development. In exchange, humans would receive protection and limited access to approved alien technologies. The hegemony representatives seemed genuinely surprised when Earth's United Council unanimously rejected their terms. "You misunderstand your position," said Axel Ferenc during an emergency session at the United Nations headquarters in New York. "We have incorporated thousands of worlds into our hierarchy. Some required persuasion. Your primitive weapons would be useless against even our smallest patrol vessels." Admiral Helena Diaz, Earth's highest-ranking military officer, stepped forward. At 68, her weathered face and silver hair belied the titanium in her spine. "We understand perfectly. You believe we are defenseless because we have hidden our true capabilities. That was intentional." Zelferen's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. "Explain." "For nearly 50 years, we have maintained a technological facade. What your scans detected are merely the technologies we allow to be seen. Earth will not be subjugated, High Overseer." The alien diplomat emitted a series of clicks that the translator interpreted as laughter. "An admirable bluff, Admiral. But the hegemony has encountered such posturing before." "This is no bluff," said President Omar Mbeki, rising from his seat. "Humanity values its independence above all else. We extend the hand of friendship as equals or not at all." Zelferan's skin darkened. "Then you choose annihilation. The hegemony battle fleet will arrive within your lunar orbit in 7 of your Earth days. You have until then to reconsider. Class 3 status is generous for a species as underdeveloped as yours. Rejection of our benevolence will result in reclassification to Resource World status. Your population will be reduced to sustainable levels for maximum extraction efficiency." As the alien delegation departed, Admiral Diaz turned to Captain Chen, who had been recalled to Earth for the negotiations. "Activate Protocol Prometheus," ordered Diaz. "All ships, all stations." Nora nodded grimly. "They have no idea what they're walking into, do they?" "That's been the plan all along," replied Diaz. "For 50 years, we've hidden our quantum technology, our neural weapon systems, and our gravitational manipulators behind a facade of conventional rocketry and basic ion drives." President Mbeki approached them, his expression solemn. "Captain Chen, the Defiant will lead our first response. Admiral Diaz will coordinate from Luna Command. If the hegemony truly has subjugated hundreds of worlds, there may be potential allies waiting to be liberated." Nora thought of the message they had received just hours before the hegemony's arrival, a tight beam transmission from a system 17 light-years distant. It had contained a single sentence in multiple languages. "Not all bow willingly to the hegemony." "We'll be ready, Mr. President," Nora promised. "Humanity won't stand alone for long." As Captain Chen returned to the defiant military bases around the world emerged from their camouflage. Massive weapon platforms rose from beneath the ocean floors. Orbital defense systems previously disguised as communication satellites repositioned themselves. In hidden shipyards on Mars and beneath the lunar surface, hundreds of warships powered up their quantum drives. Humanity had been preparing for this moment since the Roswell incident in 1947 had provided irrefutable evidence that they were not alone in the universe. The recovered alien technology had jump-started a secret technological revolution, one carefully hidden from any watching eyes among the stars. "Send word to our deep space outposts," ordered Admiral Diaz from the newly revealed Luna Command Center, "and activate the Perseus Array. In the outer reaches of the solar system, Massive energy collectors that had been disguised as research stations began channeling power to weapons platforms hidden within the asteroid belt. Earth would not go quietly into the night. Aboard the Defiant, Captain Chen addressed her crew. The hegemony believes they're facing a pre-FTL civilization with basic weapons and no chance of resistance. They expect us to surrender or be obliterated. She allowed herself a small, fierce smile. Let's show them how humanity responds to threats. Her executive officer, Commander Vikram Singh, nodded solemnly. They said they've been watching us for decades, Captain, but they've only been seeing what we wanted them to see. Exactly, Nora replied. And in 7 days, they'll learn why Earth has never been conquered. As the countdown to the hegemony's return ticked away, humanity prepared for the greatest fight in its history, not just for survival, but for their rightful place among the stars. Scorched stars. The hegemony battle fleet emerged from FTL travel exactly on schedule. A massive armada of over 300 vessels arranged in perfect formation above Earth's northern hemisphere. Their flagship, a colossal city-sized craft at the center of the formation, immediately broadcast on all frequencies. People of Earth, Vizal Feren's voice echoed through communication systems worldwide. Your time for reconsideration has ended. Surrender now, and we will honor our original offer of Class 3 status. Resist, and you will be reduced to Resource World designation. From her command chair on the Defiant, which waited in lunar orbit alongside 50 other quantum drive warships, Captain Nora Chen exchanged glances with Commander Singh. Send the response we prepared, she ordered. The face of President Mbeki appeared on screens throughout the hegemony fleet. High Overseer, we have considered your offer carefully and prepared our answer. He paused, his expression resolute. Humanity does not surrender to threats. We do not bow to oppressors, and we do not recognize your authority over Earth or any human settlement. We stand ready to defend ourselves. A ripple of bioluminescent patterns cascaded across Vizal Feren's body, an expression of rage, perhaps, or amusement. Your primitive weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Your ships will be vaporized before they can approach. This defiance is pointless. Perhaps, the President acknowledged with a small smile. But there's something you should know about humans, High Overseer. We've been preparing for this day for longer than you might think. Admiral Diaz, the response is yours. The transmission cut to Admiral Helena Diaz at Luna Command. Attention Hegemony Forces. This is your only warning. Leave Earth space immediately or face the consequences of your aggression. Vizal Feren's laughter translated as a series of musical notes. Your bravery is admirable but misplaced. Begin the pacification sequence. The largest hegemony vessels moved into position, weapon ports opening along their hulls like blossoming flowers of death. All ships, execute Perseus Protocol, ordered Admiral Diaz. Activate the array. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations hummed to life. In the asteroid belt, massive energy collectors that had been disguised as mining operations swiveled toward Earth. On Mars, enormous cannon-like structures emerged from beneath the red sand. From the dark side of the moon, previously concealed defense platforms rose silently. What is this? Demanded Vizal Feren, as his sensors detected the sudden emergence of human military assets. Impossible. Perseus Array, fire, commanded Admiral Diaz. Beams of concentrated quantum energy lanced from the asteroid belt installations, passing through specialized amplifiers near Mars, gaining strength before striking the hegemony fleet. The supposedly impenetrable alien shields flickered and failed as the carefully modulated frequencies exploited weaknesses human scientists had spent decades theorizing and testing. 27 hegemony vessels were vaporized in the first salvo. All ships, engage, ordered Captain Chen, and the human fleet surged forward, quantum drives propelling them at speeds the hegemony had believed beyond human capability. The Defiant led the charge, its advanced targeting systems identifying and striking weak points in the alien vessels. Neural-linked gunners anticipated enemy maneuvers seconds before they occurred, adjusting their aim with inhuman precision. "They're attempting to regroup," reported Commander Singh, monitoring the tactical display. "Their shield frequencies are adapting." "As expected," Nora replied. "Execute Delta formation and deploy the drones." From the hulls of the human warships, thousands of small unmanned craft swarmed toward the Hegemony fleet. Each carried a quantum disruptor, a device designed to create localized distortions in spacetime, preventing the alien ships from coordinating their defense or escaping into FTL. On the Hegemony flagship, Zalfaran watched in disbelief as his supposedly invincible armada was being decimated by a species they had classified as barely spacefaring. "How is this possible?" he demanded of his science officers. "Their technology was primitive just days ago. It appears they have been concealing their true capabilities," High Overseer replied his chief scientist, skin pulsing with patterns of distress. "The energy signatures we're detecting suggest quantum-level technology we've only seen theoretical models of." "Impossible. No species develops so quickly without guidance." Another salvo from the Perseus array struck the Hegemony formation, destroying dozens more ships. The human fleet pressed their advantage, their smaller vessels demonstrating maneuverability that the larger alien ships couldn't match. "High Overseer," reported the communications officer, "we're receiving transmissions from multiple Hegemony-controlled worlds. There are uprisings, rebellions. Someone is broadcasting our defeat to the subjugated planets." Zalfaran's appendages writhed in fury. "Silence those broadcasts and prepare the planetary devastator. If we cannot have Earth's resources, no one will." Aboard the Defiant, Dr. Zacharia's eyes widened as she analyzed new sensor readings. "Captain, the flagship is powering up some kind of superweapon. Energy readings are off the charts." "Target their power distribution nodes," ordered Nora. "All available quantum torpedoes, fire." The Defiant's weapons struck true, but the Hegemony flagship's secondary systems engaged, continuing the weapon's charging sequence. "It wasn't enough," reported Commander Rice from Tactical. "Estimated firing time: 2 minutes." Captain Chen's mind raced through options. Engineering: divert all power to forward shields. Helm: set course directly for the flagship's weapon port. Maximum speed. "Captain," questioned Singh, understanding dawning in his eyes. "That's a suicide run." "Not necessarily," Nora replied, her cybernetic-enhanced eyes calculating trajectories and timing. "Have escape pods ready. Execute the order." The Defiant accelerated toward the Hegemony flagship, evading defensive fire with precision only possible through its neural-linked navigation systems. Other human vessels provided covering fire, creating a corridor through which the Defiant streaked like a quantum-powered spear. "Weapon charging at 90%, reported Rice. "Collision course locked in." Nora opened a channel to the entire fleet. "This is Captain Chen. The Defiant will neutralize the flagship's weapon. All vessels continue the assault. Remember, we fight not just for Earth, but for all those the Hegemony has enslaved." As the Defiant approached the flagship's massive weapon port, Captain Chen issued her final order. "Now." The warship's quantum core went into controlled overload, channeling its energy into a focused beam that lanced into the alien weapon just as it reached full charge. The resulting cascade failure tore through the flagship's systems, creating a chain reaction that consumed the massive vessel from within. Emergency teleportation systems, another technology kept hidden from alien eyes, activated milliseconds before impact, beaming the Defiant's crew to safety aboard nearby human vessels. The Hegemony flagship exploded in a blinding flash visible from Earth's surface, its destruction sending a shockwave through the remaining alien fleet. Without central command and facing an enemy far more advanced than anticipated, the alien vessels began to break formation. "They're retreating," announced Admiral Diaz, watching from Luna Command. "All units, allow them to withdraw, but ensure they're tracked. We need to know where they go." As the remnants of the Hegemony fleet fled Earth space, a new transmission reached the human command network, not from the retreating aliens, but from a dozen different star systems. People of Earth began a multi-tone voice belonging to a feathered being whose species was unknown to humans. I am Supreme Counselor Jikor of the Resistance Alliance. For centuries, we have fought against hegemony oppression from the shadows. Today, you have done what we believed impossible. You have defeated their primary battle fleet in open combat. The subjugated worlds are rising. The hegemony is falling. We extend our hand in friendship and alliance. 3 days later, representatives from 17 previously hegemony-controlled species arrived on Earth for the first meeting of what would become the Galactic Liberation Council. Captain Nora Chen, promoted to Admiral for her actions, attended alongside President Mbeki and Admiral Dias. The hegemony rose to power thousands of years ago, explained Jikor, whose avian features shifted expressively as he spoke. They followed the same pattern with each new world. Assess, intimidate, subjugate. Species that developed too quickly were sabotaged before they could become threats. We believe they have been monitoring Earth for centuries, carefully managing your development. Yet we broke their pattern, noted President Mbeki. Because you did something unprecedented, replied another alien counselor, a crystalline entity that communicated through vibrations. You hid your true progress. The Roswell incident, which we now understand was a crashed hegemony observation craft, gave you both warning and technology. Instead of advancing openly, you created a facade while developing in secret. Admiral Chen leaned forward. The hegemony is wounded but not destroyed. They control hundreds of worlds and will undoubtedly regroup. Yes, acknowledged Jikor, but their myth of invincibility is shattered. Already 34 systems have declared independence. With Earth's quantum technology and the combined resources of the liberated worlds, we can end their tyranny forever. A galactic war, mused Admiral Dias. Not what we envisioned when we began our space program. Not a war of conquest, corrected Jikor. A war of liberation. Every species deserves self-determination, something the hegemony denied us all. President Mbeki stood, surveying the assembled alien representatives. Humanity will join your alliance, not as leaders or saviors, but as equals. Together, we will ensure that no species faces the ultimatum we received. The stars belong to all who dwell beneath them, not to those who would claim them through force and fear. 1 year later, Admiral Nora Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, Earth's first galactic-class battleship. Alongside her were officers not just from Earth, but from 7 other species, all united under the banner of the Liberation Alliance. Admiral, reported her new executive officer, a Centaurian whose silver-scaled skin reflected the starlight. The fleet is assembled. All ships report ready. Nora nodded, her gaze fixed on the tactical display showing hundreds of vessels, the combined might of 24 formerly subjugated species, now united in common cause. The day the hegemony came to Earth, they thought they were claiming another primitive world, she said to the bridge crew. Instead, they awakened a force they never imagined and sparked a revolution across the stars. She straightened her uniform. Set course for the hegemony core worlds. Let's finish what we started. As the Liberation Fleet jumped to FTL, Nora reflected on how quickly the galaxy had changed. Humanity had emerged from isolation to find not just enemies but allies among the stars. The hegemony had sought to conquer Earth and had instead catalyzed their own destruction. The universe would never be the same, and neither would humanity.